got Jared in my closed guard here, right? So boom, so we managed to get through, managed to get controls here, okay? So one of the best single options, and what I always, like, we've been working on this a little bit in the club, is, you know, a shoulder lock called an omoplata. So it's one of the like 4 or 5 key fundamentals you have to have as part of your guard. So when I go underhook here, right, I'm controlling on the head, right? So when I want to make space to put my foot in the hip, so when I have the underhook or the overhook here, it's my opposite foot that goes in the hip. So what I like to do when I get here and here is I've got this guy clamped down, so I'm gonna put this arm on the same side of Jared's head that my arm is on here, right? Push him, so now I'm going to hip escape, put my foot in the hip right here. Okay, so see this foot goes in the hip? So now this leg right here is gonna walk up his back. I'm gonna pinch on his shoulders here, okay? So now I can let go of this arm right here, like I don't have to have it over anymore, and so I'm gonna pinch my knees right here. So when I pinch my knees, one, depending on what I think I need out of a given situation, right? Like if I'm in a situation that I'm like, I gotta have my gun out, or I gotta, whatever. One, I'd probably try to do the omoplata on the other side. But if I'm here and here, like one, I have options to him. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go from here, I'm just gonna put my foot over his head, and I'm just gonna sit up on him, okay? So now as I sit up on him, there's a lot of options, there's a lot of things to do. The basic thing that I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sit here, right? I'm gonna slide my legs out because I'm gonna leave a little bit of opening so Jared can take his arm out here so he doesn't get it wrecked. And just take his arm out, I'm gonna slide out, come into a basic top position off of that, right? So again, super basic, but it's very effective when I'm dealing with a guy who's trying to stay down tight on me, right? So he's tight, like, okay, get here and here, boom, boom, right? Step over the head here. And now, like I said, most of the time I like to just sit up, or if a guy kind of knows what he's doing, he might try to roll his way out. So as he tries to roll his way out, we just let him, boom, and we end up on top of him, you know, here. Okay, so now, do it on the opposite side. Let's say I'm trying to gain weapons access, right? Boom, boom. So I go here and here, hip escape. So boom, now I'm Cody, now I'm Aaron. I've got access to my weapon over here, right? His arm's here. Even if he starts to get this elbow back, right? He like gets strong, takes the elbow back. Okay, cool, boom. We've got space for access to the weapon. Same thing, went here and here, boom. Worked him up right on that. Okay, boom. Okay, need to see that, Jared?
Yep.
So again, so we're here and here. So we got this good overhook control, right? So like I said, I like to go here with this arm. One, it helps keep his face away. This is a good, you know, helps with strike protection and stuff as well. So boom, here and here. And now come up to this, right? Now once I come to here and here, I like to let the guy kind of make his choice a lot of times. When I get to here and here, and I step over, I like to just sit here, right? Because one, this is basic jiu-jitsu position 101, but especially me, I don't really necessarily care to get inside control because I'm out in a freaking parking lot or in Walmart produce section or something like that, right? So I'm here and here. So I just leave his arm somewhere to go. So he takes it back because he has to. Boom, pop up, whatever happens to be out there. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. The main thing is that putting the foot in the hip creates an angle, so I start to get my spine more perpendicular to his, and then I walk my legs up, get them high up on the shoulder. So that gives me access to do all sorts of stuff. Like boom, boom, okay, cool. I got guns here, right? I'm gonna sit here and here. Oh yeah, Aaron.
I didn't tap.
Like I said, I can go here and here. Boom. Okay, he wants to like roll, boom. Stay on top here. Right? Does that make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
Pretty cool.
I'll need to actually do it to
Okay.
do it.
Yeah.
Like I said, when you have the good overhook control from the closed guard and you get the foot in the hip, this should kind of feel like it comes a little bit naturally. Because that arm is put in that precarious position, right? So it should feel a little bit like it comes naturally, and then it's just using it to do the thing that we need it to do. Okay, let's try that, guys. Nice position, so guy on the bottom, go slow, just don't be a dickhead.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking to
Overhook here.
so overhook.
Yep. Good, so now we take this, put your forearm on this side of his head. Good. Now, push his face around, right?
Yep.
Good, but keep this tight.
Keep this tight. Okay.
So you're still there we go. Good. So now feed him a few shots here, Aaron, just so he kind of feels. Now push away with that, right? So now you even feel how that gives you better protection from there. So now what I want you to do is hip escape, put your right foot in his hip.
Push this up and I'm.
Boom, and then come over like this. Yes.
And then this is where I'm.
And then this walks up nice and high, and now just pitch down.
I'll pitch down from here.
But keep this in his hip the whole time, Cody.
Super graceful.
Good. And now bite down hard right here. Okay. Good. So now now go try access your firearm here.
Yep.
Pretty easy access, right? Yep. You got good tools. You can punch him in the face a couple times. You know, right there. But okay. So now what I want you to do is I want you to just keep sliding this leg up, right, and over his head. Yep. And now I want you to just kind of sit your right leg out as you just kind of work to sit out.
Sit my right leg.
Yep. Just like that. Yep. Just kind of sit up here and work your way out. Yep. Good. So nice and slow here.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, does that make, so that's the basic. So you put him in a very compromised shoulder position, which is obviously the whole idea.
Yeah.
I think omoplata stands for shoulder. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, it's like, it's very, you want to do again?
And there should be, it should feel somewhat instinctual. So go ahead and get your good closed guard here. Right. You're over. Yep. So now once you're over, so see how like you're kind of loose with all this? I want this to be tight, like bite down on me. Yes. So now that you're bit down, now I want you to like get on your side and hip escape. Boom, boom. Yep. Foot in my hip. Good. Push your right foot in my hip. Yep. That's the important one. Good. So now once you're there, see how the arm's already compromised? Right? So now just walk your left leg up higher and higher. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, cool. So now you're there and there. So now, boom, we can go to the gun with that. Or walk this around on the side of my head.
Now you want to get it.
Yep. So we leave this little gap, guy takes it out, we're back on top.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's just very, it's definitely more advanced than
It's-
handgun.
It's a little advanced, but I think once you get a couple reps, it should feel really instinctual. Because like when you have the overhook, as soon as you put the foot on the hip, the arm is just stuck there. And just knowing that like, hey,
It's like, once the arm's there, and I'm just getting out of nowhere.
Yeah.
This one's weird, and I'm still there, just my total lack of
Yeah.
understanding.
yeah.
Do it to me, that might help too.
Does this make sense, guys? Yeah, butt out on that's good there. And now in this, so the sooner you can get this up and bite down, now with someone like Jeff, it might just be here, and now you might just be like, hey, getting the gun out, shooting his ass, right? Yeah. So try that, go to the gun, go ahead and go to the gun while you're there. Boom. And it's also, the one good thing about going to it from here is that like, you're definitely gonna shoot him in the face. So like,
Just don't pull a John Wick and also shoot yourself in the leg.
you're gonna have a very high level of, or a high probability of stopping him reasonably low round count.
Sounds pretty high hit factor to me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The 1-for-1 on face shots at 4 inches, like.
Okay, so can you do someone who,
Good. Yep. And go ahead and sit up out of that, Jared. That's fine. Yep. Go ahead and just turn your feet.
just turn your hips up.
Turn this one. Good. And so now, so let's stay right there. So now, what I want you to do is in training, I'm going to leave him the exit. In real life, he might just have it, but we leave him this space to take his arm back because he wants it, and slide out, and then just come up on his back. Boom. Perfect.
So what would be, so from that position, so I let him out, go back under here. So I've let him out, he gets his arm back. As far as like a good quality control grip at that point, are we going?
I would not be over the head
Okay.
with your left arm. Stay behind his elbows with both arms.
Okay.
And now it kind of depends on what you want, right? Like I just need to physically, let's say you're at Brandon House, dude's unarmed, you just need to physically control him. And this would be something we do here, like in a minute. Is so I'm here, one, I like what we call thigh pry. So I go hand inside the thigh here, right? So that's a good one. You know,
Okay.
anytime we can get wrist control, same side, cross wrist is good. You know, with that. Or I like just a basic body lock and just driving down hard with my head. And now that he's heavy, okay, now he starts to give me wrist. And I'm like, hey bro, you're gonna just fucking like chill out here. Like, listen, we said you gotta go away 7-day bandit bar. You're just gonna fucking calm down, all right? Listen, I'll get you the crack outside. I keep some in my car. Like, you just gotta calm your shit, all right? Like,
Arm position.
That one will always be the funniest ones. Kick open the bathroom door. Oh, I was just letting my crack up.
Slide that
Oh.
number.
Already.
Yeah.
Cool. He grabs that, punch him in the face.
Yep.
Bam, bam, and then stand on top of him. Yep.
I need to talk to your sergeant. It's way too rough.
Go ahead and grab a drink if you guys need one. And you're going, let's say you're going with like a dude who doesn't really know anything, but you're getting like your day one, your standard like day one like reaction, right? So it's going to this. So let's say the guy's like, you know, doing all that stuff. Cool. Just put your foot on my face, kick me, and like that bought you like one of those, you know, options that you wanted off of that, you know, which was to make space and stand up. And that's where like we use the MMA and the jiu-jitsu and the competition stuff because of how useful it is, but we also have to keep in mind that like I'm not trying to engage to score points so that I can be granted like a victory in the match, right? Like I'm trying to get back on my feet, run away, or get back to my feet so I can get a weapon or so I can get engaged in a better position or whatever. So it's like, well, yes, I would like to keep the guy, if I got the omoplata, I would like to omoplata him and just maintain control. But if he gives me an avenue to just kick him in the face, get up and escape, it's like, cool, we're just fighting, you know? Okay, I'm gonna show one more thing with that, and then we'll kind of move into a little bit more offensive grappling. So I'm gonna go to the same position here with Aaron. So now we're gonna basically do kind of what essentially ends up being the opposite of this. So we're gonna go from the overhook again here because I think there's better sweeps, you know, positional reversals from the overhook in like defensive grappling than there is, or at least from the closed guard than there is from the underhook, right? And so it's one of those. So like, let's say I end up. So when I have the head and arm, right? So I'm underhooked here, right? So Aaron's gonna start doing. So he's gonna like put pressure on my face or whatever. I can switch to then going overhook on the opposite side, right? Because just by virtue of the fact that I'm over this arm to be over this head, I can be over this arm here, right? So when I start to make this space here, so like Aaron's here, start to make space, boom, boom, give him a little bit of something right here, right? So let's say I get to here and here, right? As I'm trying to go for the omoplata, like Aaron closes back in on me like really hard, right? So one thing that I like to do is I'm gonna take this foot that's right here, I'm gonna put it under his hip, I'm just gonna block outside with this leg, boom. I'm just gonna take him over for a basic butterfly sweep, or what we call a half butterfly sweep, okay? And it's just strictly an instinctual response here. So I'm like, boom, pop, 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 okay, boom. So I'm like, okay, we got Aaron that gets staged, boom, take him over with that, right? And then once I get to here and here, jiu-jitsu wise we like this because it gives me good options to just immediately pass off of that. But very simplistic sweep, okay? Let me borrow Jared here so Aaron can see it as well, so you guys can be on this side here. So, boom. You got me, bro. What are you doing? Boom. Take a little space. Come right into that. End up on top there. Whoops. That make sense? You can see it again?
I see it, yeah.
You can see it again? Good? Okay, try that one, guys. Bring that forearm on this side, yes.
On the head.
Up there. Bring this up.
I'll try you back in.
Okay, so stay foot on the hip here, Jeff. So as you start to make him a little bit long, right? Like you're trying to omoplata, he pressures in hard. So he pressures in, now I just want you to slip that foot down between his legs, your right foot.
Flexibility.
And now just chop him and tip him. Yeah.
This is when
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you kind of pick it up.
And now just chop down with your left leg on the outside of his foot, or outside of his leg here, Cody, and just elevate and roll him. Boom.
You can get an underhook too.
You mean as in before I push you over?
Like that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And I want you to be tighter with this. This is the one, yeah, that's the thing that's causing most of your kind of like problems is that you're getting down towards the elbow. Stay up here tighter on that arm and you're good to go, yeah.
Here I'm.
Yeah, because you're trying to go omoplata, you're trying to set this up or whatever, so you kick and you make a little space as you're moving that leg, right? So you get a little bit of separation, right? But now let's say, so Aaron kind of gets up and he's like, you know, whatever, I'm going to pressure in on this guy, right? So as he goes to pressure in on him, you're just going to put that foot down in between his legs. Maybe you can kick him over with that, like that.
No.
Yeah. So
Under, right? Yeah.
Feel what it feels
And
like
now
here.
kick up with this one.
Start to go here and here, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna come up. But see how like the guy's pressuring in, and that's how I feel. So that's what I come to, and I can just feel that feedback of the guy pressuring back here.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
My weight's already?
I'm not
Yeah.
getting my foot in there.
Lock your guard up, you know.
Okay.
And now I'm pushing. So the guy's like this. So he I don't want to get twisted, right? So I feel this, so I pressure back in. So as soon as I do that now, just bring your right foot under my leg here. This one right here.
See, I can't unlock
So,
my foot.
so just push a little bit and now bring it down real quick. Boom. Yeah.
I don't know if it's my shoes or what, but I can't get my position for it.
More babies for you. No, and and this is where this is where the hip escape is such a fundamental component too, right?
Yeah.
As you get to this and this, so boom. So as I start to make the space, the other thing I do too is as I push this here, and I start to make the space, I have enough room to bring my foot down, but I kind of draw this response from him. But also, maybe this is another difference that I didn't teach because I don't notice that I do it. But so as he comes back in, a lot of times I'll kind of sit up a little bit, to make a little bit more angle. Right. So maybe I think this is also. I think you're staying a little too flat.
Yeah.
I see you here and here. So boom. So make a little space. Basic sweep off of that.
Yeah, definitely missing something.
It's an outlier problem.
A different sort of challenge.
You know, and I mean that honestly. It's you could do everything technically right and have it not work against a dude who is of that large a size.
Sure.
I always fundamentally hate that. Oh, strength doesn't matter when you have bullshit. It doesn't
False.
matter. Why do we have weight classes if it doesn't matter? You know,
I picked up a purple belt who had a perfect arm bar on me, and I was like, oh.
Now just scoop under.
leg. Yeah. So come back, Jared. So that's so what you're getting hung up on is the foot that you have in the hip. You're not bringing it under the hip to help elevate. Okay. You know what I mean? So if Jeff's giving you a little resistance, he's not going to let that happen, right? So go ahead so go ahead, come to your overhook. Yep. So that's fine. Yep. So you kick him, and you're going for the omoplata, right? So you're going to set up there, boom. But Jeff gets strong and he bites down. So now bring that under his yes. So now when we chop down with your right leg, elevate with this left leg.
Do I want to
tip.
trap this or no?
I mean, you can. It's mostly all you need to do is just chop a little bit. So we chop and elevate with your left leg then.
Okay.
Yep. So elevate. So bring your foot. Yes. Bring your foot into the middle of this thigh like that. Okay. Yep. And now tip. Now go. Yes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Once you have that in there. Yeah. If you guys want to bring it up here, I'll just touch on one thing with this. So kind of move a little bit into some offensive grappling. So I brought Jeff here because Jeff is such a gargantuan lady boy.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall, is what I always tell
The
Jeff.
problem is don't be under them when they fall. But yeah, so this is kind of the common issue, right? So we got here and here. So it's funny because if I was doing jiu-jitsu with Jeff, I can there's my closed guard. I can make my knees touch, right? So you get to this and this. So boom, boom, right? So I'm gonna try to make this uncomfortable for him, but he does what big guys do. He gets strong here and he comes back in, right? So here, boom. So I elevate with that leg, and that's super important that I do that, okay? So the other thing that I kind of didn't touch on is with really long guys, really strong guys, sometimes I kind of don't make much purchase here, or Jeff kind of gets up to his feet to fight this, right? So the other thing I can do is I can just kick him here and then pop out there. Kind of a couple ancillary details, but that's why the elevation of the opposite side is so important. Because the other thing is, in a perfect world, when I tip like that, he just goes, but I also might have to move my own body to make it happen, right? So boom, boom, Jeff kind of gets strong coming back in. So he might tip him and he makes, don't go all the way over, right? So he gives me a little, I'm like, I might have to move my own body out with that to make that work. Does that make sense? Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. Cool. Grab a drink if you guys need one, and we're gonna kind of move.